So this is a question that I get asked quite often. What are my next steps after I graduate from cosmetology school? As a school owner, I suggest that anyone who is looking to go into the next steps after you have graduated, you need to plan. I know there's a huge surge of cosmetologists, estheticians, nail technicians, and so on and so forth who feel, okay, once I've graduated, have license in hand, now I'm about to be an instant millionaire. Well, I'm sorry to tell you that is not the way it works in the real world. You're going to have to take your time, learn your craft, develop yourself as a now professional, and get into the industry and find out where your strengths and weaknesses are. This is going to take time. Most times when you graduate from cosmetology school, it's going to take you about 6 months to 2 years to kind of figure out who you are in this industry. Things that can prohibit you, being quick to turn away services because you don't like them, telling people, oh, I want to just get your money and I'm not interested in building a relationship with clients. Stopping the process of learning your trade, meaning you don't go to CEU classes, you don't kind of keep your ear to the street about what the latest techniques are. And the worst of all is not knowing your craft. And what I mean by that is, I always ask my students one question: who do you want people to say that you are? And the reason why I say that is because I am now a 22-year veteran in this industry, give or take a year or two. I started when I was 16. And what that means is, in order for me to withstand the test of time or be able to have longevity in this field, I learned very early on that I needed to kind of set myself apart and not only grow myself as an individual, but grow myself as a professional. This industry will take you down loops and turns that can question your morals, it can question your judgment. You will hear things that people want to discuss with you in the chair that you're going to have to deal with when the time comes. So a level of maturity, your integrity, who you are as a person on the inside, your morals, your values, all those things will be tested when you meet the general public. So what I learned was I had to put myself in a situation where I was uncomfortable. And what that meant was, the first job that I ever had as a cosmetologist, I was working at a salon called Cost Cutters. Cost Cutters was inside of your local Walmart. I grew up in a little town in South Carolina, and I was the only black stylist there for some time. What that meant was I heard a lot of racial slurs. I heard a lot of things that weren't necessarily uplifting to my spirit during that time, and we're talking about 20-something years ago. So fast forward now to 2023, where the times have changed, but not as much as you think. So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say is, above it all, who do you want people to say that you are? For me, I wanted people to know that, number one, I cared about their hair. Number two, that I was a safe place to land. And number three, that I was looking to make the money later, not right now. So you may say, well, what does that mean, make the money later and not right now? A lot of stylists in this industry are interested in just dollar signs. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're good at your craft, you can make a well-to-do living off this industry. But if you make your MO just chasing the money, that means, number one, your customer service skills are not going to be as great. Number two, your professionalism is not going to be as great. And number three, you might make that money with that client for that day, but in the long scheme of things, you don't get them to come back. So I use a phrase here on campus. It's called your steady Freddies and your bread and butter clients. Your bread and butter clients, are the ones that are going to pay your bills. So if you don't treat them right, how you expect them to come back? Your steady Freddies are the ones that you can count on every 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Those are the ones that you get to perfect your craft on their hair. You're learning their hair. You're learning the how the hair performs, how to cut it, how to style it, how does it take color. These are the clients that you get to see to go through the changes of life, new job, new kids, new house, loss of job, things going on in their life that can change the way their hair will perform. So as a licensed stylist, you are the eyes and ears for every single client that comes and sits in your chair. So why does any of this matter? Again, at the beginning of this conversation, I said, who do you want people to say that you are? So if you're chasing the money and you're like, okay, I don't care, I want to, grow my following on Instagram and just have it like that, that doesn't necessarily promote longevity in this industry. The reason why I'm here where I am today is because I purposely wanted to set myself apart and go through those growing pains. I have tons of stories about the ups and downs and things that I've seen from clients coming in and out of my chair over the years. A lot of tears shed, a lot of happy days, a lot of days I didn't know how I was going to make it. A lot of days I'm like, wow, I made a lot of money today. But I had to understand that that is not how this industry is every day, and you have to know how to plan for the ups and downs that this industry will bring. So that is going to require a level of intuition, integrity, being able to plan, setting yourself apart, but most importantly, defining your path early on. So if you want to specialize in healthy hair, you need to know about healthy hair. If you want to specialize in color, you learn about color. Now, specializing doesn't mean that you become exclusive. What that means is you have learned something to the best of your ability that you feel this is something that I can promote as this is something I do very well. That doesn't mean that if somebody walks in for a roller set, you're like, I'm a color stylist, I don't do it. That doesn't mean if somebody walks in for just a one length haircut, I'm color, I don't do it. You have to know how to, work your craft. So if color is something that you really enjoy, then you set aside the time, investment, and what you need to be able to set yourself up for you to be able to promote those services. But meanwhile, you have to occupy. You got to pay the bills. You got to, be able to do what you need to do to make it through the ups and downs that come in those first 6 months to 2 years. So I'm going to conclude this video here today. There will definitely be a part 2 to this video, but again, knowing early on who you want people to say that you are is the most important thing that you will ever do for yourself as a professional.